Hi, this is Paulette from the Magical Needle, and today let's make a simple quilt window panel top. I know some quilt window panels are a lot more detailed, where they have double or triple panels that have that 3D look. I don't like that type so much because I feel like it really takes away from the picture of the panel, from the background. So this is really simple and easy to do. And it's my favorite method of making window panels. What I'm doing is putting the ruler a 1/4 inch inside, and then I am going to cut that 1/4 inch off. I'm going to do the same thing on this direction, in this direction as well. I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to get rid of this uneven border that's printed. But when you turn it over before I cut that second part of it, you notice how uneven this border is? So I'm going to have to actually go in more and cut along even more to make sure it's even. So before I cut, I'm looking, see how wide this is and see how narrow this is. I'm actually using another ruler just to make sure that this ruler is completely lined up. This is my cutting ruler, and sometimes it's hard to get exactly on the line, and especially when the fabric where you want to cut like this, it's a little confusing how the border is not printed correctly and it's angled. So this double ruler thing is something that I learned from my friend from Lovely Long Arm Quilting. Okay, you see how good that looks? I cut the border off. Now, when I first cut the piece off, the first time, that side, I just looked again and see I went in a 1/4, but look, underneath the folds, I still have a little bit of that border. So I'm going to have to go back in and cut even a wider piece out. Okay, so now it looks really good, and it is time to cut these into pieces. Okay, so now everything is folded and it looks completely even. So over here is folded. There's 2 pieces here, 2 pieces here. Okay, so it's folded twice. And then it's really important to try to get it even across. So this is 20 inches across. So it's going to make it super easy to cut, to line up and cut. So this is the 10 mark. So I took chalk and I just drew a line going down, and that is going to be my cutting line. Okay, and then also, if you notice over here, this is not cut, this is folded. We're going to cut that right at the edge. And the same thing here after. We're going to cut right along that edge. So I cut. And then also, it's really important, what I do is I always take a photo of the panel before I do anything, before I cut it, anything, because you want to know how to piece it back together. So this obviously is the bottom piece. Okay, so then I take like a sticky note pad, and I'll write numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then this way, 9. So this way I know which piece goes where. So after I cut it and I match it up, I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it on each piece so I know how to put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. Hi, so you could see I just cut like a 1/4 inch off this top. Make sure it's even. It's really, really, really important to have this piece even. You want to cut off as little as possible because then you could mess up and it will be uneven. And look, I did the same thing for the side here. Okay, now we're going to separate this and number each piece, and then we're going to make the inside panel. I laid out the pieces and I numbered each one. Okay, It's really important to do that or you may get confused. This is like putting a puzzle together. This one has more pieces. It has 8 pieces while the other panel I showed has 6. And the reason why is this one is actually wider and it's not as long as the other panel. That other panel I did and another panel I've done before prior, it was longer and narrower. So when you're picking a panel, remember that. Do you want the panel to be wider or do you want it to be longer? Okay, and then it was really important to look at a photo. I did have to look at the photo twice and move things around because it took me a minute. I did have it in the wrong order when I was putting it together, but you know that happens. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the inside panel border so it looks like a window.